Hello again. This is my Nio Phone, and I wanted to give you a review of the Nio Phone. I really did. The trouble is, I got the phone, essentially when it just launched, which means it had some issues. And in the interest of full disclosure, I want to tell you about some of those issues. And none of them are very major, to be honest with you. But I do feel like it kind of limits my ability to make a full review of the phone, primarily because when I had the phone and I was driving the car around, actually, I was talking with Nio a lot. Nio supported me on the trip with the car and giving me ideas for the power journey and that sort of thing, which again, go watch that video. But I also, had a lot of issues with the phone. And so they supported me with the phone in having, arranging phone calls while I was on my road trip with the Nio Phone development team, giving them feedback, giving them bug reports, that sort of thing. And what they told me, in one of the calls is that obviously they weren't anticipating having a lot of English language users using the Nio Phone right at launch. I could have been the only one. I'm not sure if any other foreigners in China bought the Nio Phone and were using it with a car. I don't know. But I did run into some issues. But the good news is that they took my feedback and probably a lot of other people's feedback, and they've been constantly updating the phone since then. They're already on version 1.0.3 or 1.3 point something. I'm not sure, but when I had the phone, it was 1.0. You can check out TIY by Ting, his YouTube channel. He posted actually some updates on the Nio Phone because he actually got one as well. He's a Thai YouTuber with a Nio. So you can actually see some updates that have already been implemented. Another problem with the phone, and not a problem with the phone actually technically, but more a problem that I don't own my own Nio, and the car I was borrowing was like, the owner of the car was the company, right? It was Nio, but it's to a person, right? And so I was like a guest profile on the car, which meant I didn't have all the same functionality. And what I mean by this is one of the features Nio talked about with the phone is you can actually have like a video call going on, like a FaceTime, while you're on your phone, maybe in the house, and you walk down to your car. And as soon as you get in the car, the FaceTime video will pop up onto your car center display. And you can continue on with your phone call while you're driving and, do your meeting, whatever. Now, none of the apps like that, the ones that go from the phone to the car seamlessly, they didn't work because I wasn't the owner of the car. And I'll put it like this. So the owner of the car has the Nio App Store accessibility and the Nio Link app accessibility on their profile and link to their phone. So I could log into that profile and download like the Nio Link app and Feishu, which is like Office, like Zoom. I could download that stuff, but then the profile on the phone with the car is my profile and it doesn't link with the profile on the car. So then if I switch to my profile on the car, which I did, then I can't download the apps. It's probably like a security measure. So essentially, either I would have the apps in the car and not on the phone, or I'd have the apps on the phone and not on the car. Basically, that's the rundown. So I couldn't use those apps and test out the seamless ability of apps going from the phone to the car and back again. So I couldn't review that. So instead of giving you a review, I'm going to tell you a couple things that I like about the phone. Nio actually told me that once they make a few updates to the phone, they will try to lend me another car, probably an EL6 or an ES6, most likely. Maybe just for a short while, a couple days, so I can make an actual full proper review of the phone and the integration with the car. Now, with that out of the way, I'm going to tell you what I like about the phone, a few of the problems I had, and just show you a couple of clips of demonstrations of me using the phone with the car. Okay, sound good? Let's do it. First, the form factor of the phone. I actually think it's much more comfortable to hold than this is iPhone 13 Pro Max. This is a Nio Phone. I think it's more comfortable to hold, and that's subjective, but using this is better, in my opinion, ergonomically. Second thing I like about this phone, compared to, again, iPhone 13 Pro Max, the camera, especially portrait mode. Now, portrait mode on this phone, you can actually really very easily toggle between the aperture, so you can go all the way down to 1.4 up to, whatever, 5, I don't know. When you're using portrait mode, you don't want a smaller aperture, you want a bigger aperture, so a lower number. So you can set it to 1.4 and then you can have it remember the settings and always open to 1.4, and you can also set it to open with the telephoto lens or the normal standard lens. So that's all really good from a functionality standpoint. And I've never used another Android phone, or I've used one, but it was like 2008 or something. So this could be standard on all Android phones. I'm not sure. One other thing definitely better, portrait mode on iPhone 13 is kind of not very good. The blurry background, the bokeh, is very, very soft and mushy, especially like edges, right? It's like really very obvious digital blur. Whereas I find that the background of the Nio Phone on the portrait mode is a lot more natural looking and the edges are a lot more crisp. Not comparing to any other Android phone I'm not comparing to iPhone 15 or 15 Pro Max. I'm only comparing to my 13. So another thing that I really like about the phone compared to Apple, compared to iPhone 13 Pro Max, is that the actual display is a whole lot brighter, especially in like tropical sun, like when I was in Sichuan, very, very hot, sunny, bright days. I cannot see my screen on my iPhone 13 Pro Max. I think it's like 1,000 or 1,200 nits max. And then the Nio Phone is like 1,800 nits, something like that. I'll find the stats, put them up on the screen. But I know the iPhone 15 now is actually 2,000 nits or something, so a little bit better than the Nio Phone. But comparing to a 13 Pro Max, definitely the screen is much better than the iPhone. What else do I like about the phone is the side button to access your car, which I no longer have a car, so can no longer access it when I press that button. But it makes accessing your car very, very easy and simple and controlling your car. And I can see in the future as they develop more features about controlling the car with the phone, about how great that would be. Okay, so those are the main things that I would say I like about the phone. To be honest with you, I'm an iPhone guy. I've been using an iPhone for over a decade. It's not like I upgrade every phone or anything like that, but every few years I get a new iPhone, and I think it works very well. Especially for me, like if I take photos, take video, and I want to use them, like in a video, for example, on this channel, it's very easy, like with AirDrop or just the iCloud. It's very, very simple. Now this phone, the Nio Phone, you can actually install Google apps and stuff, but kind of annoying. But I'm sure that you can use like Gphoto or Google, whatever the Photos app was similar to iCloud for Google. I'm sure you can use all that stuff once you install it. It's an Android phone. If you're used to it, you're going to be used to the Nio Phone. If you're used to an iPhone, you're not going to be used to an Android phone, but you can figure it out eventually. It's not that complicated. It's a good phone. I feel like it's fast, efficient, very, very good for controlling the car. Another thing that's good about the Nio Phone is actually in China, the Nio app does not have English. But the Nio Phone, the operating system, does have English, including the quick access menu when you do launch your car. It does have English. So that's also very good. If you are a foreigner in China who cannot speak or read Chinese and you want to control your car and have good functionality with your car and not be stressed out about using the app, very, very good. You can use the Nio Phone in English. I know a lot of foreign users in China would love to have an English language app, but that doesn't seem to be on Nio's agenda, at least not for the time being. Now let's talk about some of the issues I had with the phone. I would say that the first one is, again, this was just when the phone launched, version 1.0. It's already been fixed, but I can't show you because I don't have a car anymore to show you. But the positioning of the car on the English language of the app, of the operating system, is not correct, but it's fixed, okay? It's fixed. But it makes like using it not difficult at all. It's just basically like an image or a 3D model of the car. But it is kind of funny if you are using the ultra wideband technology to hand the phone to your girlfriend or whatever and have her use the massage function on her seat. Maybe her seat is actually like located in like the hood of the car, something like that. Just kind of a bug, a glitch. Also, a lot of the English language stuff, they have typos, which no big deal. Again, like they said, we weren't really expecting a lot of English language users to be using this. It wasn't like the top priority for them at launch, but all of those typos and things that I pointed out have already been fixed as well. So that's good, at least most of them, the ones I've seen. So I would say those are the main things. There was some bugs in the English language operating system, which hopefully have been ironed out. There were some language translation problems, typos, and then I couldn't use all the functionality of the phone. So that's why I'm not giving you a review of the phone today. But again, in the very near future, ideally, I will have an EL6, ES6, and can test out more of the functionality of the phone. So all of the functionality that I did actually have access to worked very well. It's integrated, I would say, pretty much seamlessly. It really goes to show you why a car company wants to have a phone, or why a phone company like Huawei or Apple or Xiaomi, why they want to have a car. They integrate very, very well, and it makes a lot of sense. All right, so next we're going to show two features of the phone and how it interacts with the car, like when you're in parking in a tight spot. So we just hit the button on the side here, and right here we can choose nearby summon or remote parking. We're going to do nearby summon. We're going to tap that button. We're going to hit start. Okay, and now we're going to go forward. Let's pretend that the car is in a very tight spot. I can't get in the car. So we're just going to hit that button, and the car drives forward. I'm just holding down my thumb on the forward button. As soon as I let go, the car stops. Perfect. And we can also, of course, back it in as well. So let's say It's a really tight spot. Very, very, very cool. Simple. Okay, so that's the first thing. So the next function is if like you're in a parking lot and all the spots are really, really tight and you don't want to actually park the car yourself or have the car auto park while you are in the car. So you're driving through the parking lot, you realize you're not going to be able to get out of the car once you park. So that's what we're going to do next. The car is going to look for a parking space. I'm going to choose one here on the right side of the car. I choose that, tap on the screen, and then I'm going to choose remote parking on my phone. So now I put remote parking using the app. I'm going to get out of the car. So on the car, I just selected a parking space and I selected remote parking. And now on the app, it says start parking, so I can get out. I'm going to click start parking and we're going to back up here. Start. And now the car is obviously parking all on its own. I am not in the car. The only person in the car is the dog. The dog is enjoying a very, very fun auto parking experience. Why don't we come up here and see the dog in the car? Look at her loving it. Every minute of this parking. The window's folded in, very, very tight spot. And that's it. The car's parked. It says parking completed, exit and lock the vehicle. I've obviously already exited, so lock the vehicle and we're done. Cool. Easy as pie. Is that the phrase? Easy as pie? Yeah, I think it is. Okay. Shall I? Hup. So I'm going to show you a cool feature of the Nio phone and how it interacts with the car. Right now I'm on the DVR, like so let's say you want to save a video for whatever reason, you know, maybe you have a car accident or just like to save videos. I'll just select a video, choose this one from today, the videos, whatever, okay, that doesn't matter. Anyway, what I can do is I can click up here, share. Unlike before where you have to use like the USB port and download the files that way, now you can actually send videos directly from your car to your phone. You can use the Nio phone or the Nio app actually, or as you see here, there's still the option for a USB drive. So I'm going to send it to the Nio phone here. I don't want all 5 angles. There's you know, front, right, left, and rear, and the main camera. I don't want those ones. I just want the main camera. So I'm going to share that to my Nio phone. And here it says receiving. And look how quick this goes. I receive a file just like that, about what, 8, 9, 10 seconds? Maybe. It's held up. What happened? Well, it usually goes faster. Okay, I got it. See, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. Usually it goes faster. I don't know why that one hung up. Let's see if it actually worked. Maybe it had an error or something. Nope. There you go. So there's the video we just got. So here's something else we can do with the phone is, say we don't want to go through the DVR here to get a video. Maybe again we got in a car crash, the car's totaled, whatever. What I want to do is I want to go to my Nio phone here, and this is in the DVR section of the car. This is my car. You can have downloaded files, all my files, DVR, Guardian mode, selfies, screenshots, etc. Anyway, we go to DVR, and I want a video, and the same exact thing. You got left, front, right, rear. I only want the main video, and I'm going to download it just like that, and it's going to be sending it again from the cloud to me via the car. Pretty amazing stuff. Very useful if you ever need to show the police anything, like somebody doing something to your car or a car wreck, that sort of thing. And it has downloaded. So you saw that? It's downloaded. Very quick. Now that you've seen all that, here are some suggestions that I made to Nio about the Nio phone. One, I think that you should be able to control pretty much every functionality of the car with the phone. Like for example, when I was doing camp mode in the car, you cannot turn on camp mode, turn off camp mode with the Nio phone. I suggested you be able to do that because right now, just like again when I was in Europe, I tested camp mode. You can't do camp mode with voice command still. You cannot do that. You can't use it with the back screen. The ET5 Touring doesn't have a back screen, but the cars that do, they still don't offer controlling of camp mode from there, which means if I'm camping in my car in the back seat laying down, I have to like stretch super far to touch the main display and go into the menus and do camp mode, or go into the front seat, push camp mode on, set it to like turn on in 5 minutes or whatever, then go around, go in the back. Anyway, it's not like very difficult. It's really like first world problems complaint, but I don't really see a reason why you can't just toggle on camp mode while you're in the car with your Nio phone. Same thing with like the ambient lighting. If you look at how the ambient lighting is done on the Nio, there's basically, you can like touch it. I'll show you again. You can move the colors around. There should be the same exact display functionality in the Nio phone as an option. So like if I'm camping and, you know, I want to have camp mode turn on in 10 minutes and I want to have some certain ambient lighting going on, maybe it's romantic night, right? Or maybe I'm just want to look at the stars and have like a nice, cool, chilled out green Aurora Borealis color while I'm looking at the Aurora Borealis through the glass window. If I wanted that, I should be able to do that using the Nio phone. And then same with like pet mode. Definitely should be able to maybe not turn on pet mode because you can't ensure that your pet's okay if you're not by the car. Like you might not be able to do it with the phone, but if you do turn on pet mode and your pet's in the car, you should be able to check like maybe a pet mode button or a camera button and see inside the car like a live feed or just a live picture to a snapshot like every minute or every 5 minutes, and make sure your dog or your cat is okay in the car. I think those are important things that they could add. So those were some of my suggestions, and I think that they're making progress on that, hopefully. So that is my non-review, just kind of an overview, I guess, of the Nio phone and my experience with it. I think overall it's quite good. I don't personally think many people will switch from like iPhone to Nio phone. I do think as like an add-on, again, I talked about it before, like in the sales screen on the Nio app when you're selling a car, as an add-on instead of a key or a key fob, sell a phone. I think that's a good option. Probably if you're like an Android family and you have a kid, like a teenager or two, that's probably the best way to sell Nio phones, I would say, because like I don't really think anybody's gonna be like passing around a phone to turn on their seat cooling or the massage. But I do think if, you know, there's you, your wife, your two kids in the back seat, you know, I'm a daughter in the back seat and I just want to like, you know, play my game. Oh, I'm a little bit hot. I'm just gonna push the side button here and then I'm gonna turn on my ventilated seat. Very easy. Or just turn on my massage. Very, very easy and chilled out. But I don't think people are gonna be passing phones around the car necessarily. So probably not that important of an idea. But it's cool that it knows where you are. So if you were like an Android family who then switched to Nio phones because you have a Nio car, you all have your own personal, you know, little device to control your climate, your comfort. I think that's really a cool feature. But yeah, overall, I do see that this is definitely going to be the trend. I think Nio is a visionary, a trendsetter. And so they're basically the company, the car company that launched the phone first. Huawei is the phone company that launched the car first. Whatever. I think that's the direction things are going. And I'm sure that the product will only get better and better and better. And I'm certainly looking forward to using the Nio phone with the updates whenever Nio gives me another car to test it out and actually do a proper review. So let me know what you think. If you have any suggestions or other ideas to further improve the functionality of the phone, put them in the comments and let everybody know. And then maybe I can even pass those ideas on to Nio as well. Stay safe, stay healthy, and peace out. Bye-bye.